Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out about his hair. I've had my braids fall out, and it's just no fun having hair in your eyes when you're trying to fight.
Well, it just felt like he was fighting two fights, right? He was fighting Seranno and fighting his hair, and I'm excited to see the rematch here. So Charlton and Seranno for the second time.
And Charlton has a little bit more experience, having won MMA bout himself.
Nice sharp strikes from Hernandez early here.
We've been working a lot of cage wrestling, a lot of clinching. Marcos is strong in that area in the clinch, and so I think he's going to be able to put it together tonight. I'm super excited. This is more or less how their fight went to begin with, not to keep comparing to the kickboxing match, but Hernandez has got good pressure, and I think it would be good for Charlton to do that, to circle out more. He's got a habit of kind of leaning off, and you can only lean off so far until you're on the cage. So he did a little better that time about circling off, and you know, a boxing ring is different than a cage. There's corners to get stuck in, and so he's got a lot more space to work with. Good straights from Hernandez.
Hernandez doing a good job of kind of keeping his energy contained too. He's not getting overzealous and swinging wild. He's picking his shots and finding them.
Well, it's something he did really well in the first fight. He kind of built momentum as the fight went on, just kept adding it up and adding it up. And the same thing seems to be happening a bit here in round one.
He's kind of gaining confidence as he goes, kind of putting a little more volume together.
Composure is the word of the night.
Sharp jab. Moves well, but both guys move relatively well for big guys. Ooh, big punches here from Seranno.
And it's not as if Charlton isn't landing. He's landing on that one shot and leaning off, whereas Hernandez is stepping in and landing 2 or 3 shots.
Exactly, yeah. At this point, I think you hit it there. It's 1 shot to 3 or 4 each exchange. Nice head movement there. Kind of gets head offline, shoots a jab. These are good moments for Marcos.
And like you said earlier, it's about stepping in, throwing your shots, and knowing when to leave. And he seems to have a good rhythm in that regard too. He's stepping in, throwing his shots. Sometimes it's Charlton is leaving, and sometimes it's him that's kind of backing up and resetting.
A little bit of visible frustration there from Marcos. Kason is moving off and kind of escaping here and there, but he's doing things very unorthodox and not necessarily moves that I would coach or point him in that direction. I think Marcos just keeps the pressure up, keeps the combinations high. It's that 3rd, 4th, 5th punch that's finding its mark.
And he's not doing a bad job of cutting his opponent off. Like I said earlier, there's no corners, so there's always an escape route. But he seems to be doing a decent job of backing Charlton up to the fence.
And again, Kason, he's not, he's moving his head nice and kind of trying to roll with the punches, but he's also taking his eyes off of Marcos completely. And because of that, it's kind of allowing him to get further away. But again, it's not something that anybody would coach into it. We want to keep those eyes open. We want to keep you in our crosshairs, not lean too far off. Maybe run into something on your way back. That's kind of the risk.
I do think Charlton feels a little more calm than the first time they fought, though. He feels a little bit more in the fight. So here we are, ready to move forward to the second round.
Big smile from both boys.
Oh, they're loving it, right? And that's part of the beauty of the sport.
I'm curious to see if anybody's going to try to take somebody down. Obviously, Charlton thought this might be a different fight if he could do MMA. I'm curious to see, him shoot or something.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure because they're just they're kickboxing in smaller gloves. Oh, yeah. Big right hand from. Then you see Marcos, kind of what we're talking about as it looked like he landed one too many. Charlton able to come back and land a glancing shot. Nice feint from Marcos.
Charlton seems to be a little chatty in there. I can't hear what he's saying, but I can definitely see his mouth moving.
At some point, Charlton has to get offensive, though, right? It just feels like he's been on his heels
Big
the
right
entire
hand
time.
finds its mark. That got the attention of Kason Charlton. Deep up the middle, I think. Hurt a little bit. Good feet, though, by Marcos. See, he's not crossing his feet. He's stepping, small steps, keeping him lined up. Long jab finds its range.
And he's been floating to where Charlton is going. And that's not easy to teach somebody. I mean, for him to be able to kind of cut him off that way.
Yeah, he's got a feel for it.
Yeah.
Be careful grabbing the fence there. Came close, but he didn't. It's kind of a strange moment there.
Yeah, I don't know. They must know something we don't know.
And they've definitely been pretty friendly in there with one another. Good sportsmanship on both sides.
Yeah, they're familiar, but it's a fist fight.
I mean, they've seen each other before.
A couple times here, Marcos has had success as Kason throws that rear kick. Without any setup, Marcos has been able to step on it and get closer and closer each time with landing that straight right hand.
Nice high underhook from Marcos, shoveling those uppercuts to Charlton's face.
Kind of surprised by those were pretty jarring shots there too. He's landing. You're right, Kason's talking to him. Like, bro, you're losing the fight though, man. So focus. Good pummel there by Kason. Finds an underhook, needs to use it. Again, this head position. This is something we can fix. We can fix that easy.
Yeah. A lot of times we call it head pressure, but I feel like head position is a better term because it's not about just driving your head. It's about where you're putting your head. That's what's going to win you the position.
And how's your head breaking their posture? How's it making them uncomfortable? Anytime you put your head off to the side like you're giving them a warm hug,
Yeah.
it's a little harder to score.
Good look at the replay there. Shout out to our guy Luke Hawkins, producer director, for giving us those replays. So 2 rounds in the books. Seranno feels like he's ahead here, and it's maybe not quite as definitive as the first time they fought, but once again, Marco's kind of picking up the momentum. Started out a little slow, and he's slowly but surely building on it, and he carries that momentum into this third and final round.
I'm curious to see if Charlton does something different.
He's got to let something go at some point. He's just been on his heels so much of the fight, and here's your chance to go make something happen in this final round.
There needs to be some urgency here. Try to swing him down, try to find, have a moment. There's that right kick again.
This is MMA. This isn't a rematch on the kickboxing. There's the takedown attempt I was hoping for.
Well, at least something different.
Stuffed by Seranno in the mount.
Right in the mount if he can maintain it.
This is a tough spot to be. Marcos Hernandez just kind of gliding effortlessly into mount. He's scoring here.
That's a problem. It's across the chin.
Falling off the back a little too much, but now he's back in the mount.
Effortlessly too, just like steps back into mount.
Flowing here for Seranno.
This has got to be tough for Kason Charlton. This is a bad spot to be. And I mean, we got
2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do not want Seranno on top of me for 2 minutes.
Charlton doing a decent job at least trying to break Seranno down, Hernandez down, but it's no easy task. And at first he was kind of moving, but I agree with the ref there. He wasn't making those movements like he was early on, trying to get him off. He kind of conceded the position, and I think that was a good stoppage.
Yeah, it's the right stoppage there. These guys are amateurs. Serrano's on top. He's got another 100 seconds to work, and there really wasn't anything from Charlton that looked like he was going to get out of that position. And in the end, Seranno just turned it up.
No bad blood between them.
Yeah, great stuff. Good sportsmanship between the two, and now you can probably close the chapter
Right.
on Seranno and Charlton.
And you never know, standing in there with them, that's Chris Rapolo, who fought our friend Kobe, who is no stranger to AK. That was their first fight. Kobe comes to our gym all the time and trains. So you never know, like in these early amateur fights, you might just end up having a good training partner at the end of it. Being
Ladies
good
and
friends.
gentlemen, our referee has called a stoppage to the action at 1 minute 8 seconds in the third and final round. Declaring your winner, Crosser Marcus Seranno.
So there you have it. Marco Seranno puts on for his city and picks up the W in front of the fans here at Samstown. And he's now 2-0 against Kason Charlton. It really, the two fights almost felt like the exact same fight. I mean, it really was just an extension of the kickboxing match that they had the first time. Stayed on its feet for almost the entirety, and Seranno victorious again.